Craig Steele is our first speaker. And one of the things we really love about engaging with Craig's work is that sort of playful attitude the organisation takes to helping people develop the digital skills they need. I'm going to hand over to Craig.
Thank you. So thanks for that introduction, Irene. So yes, my name's Craig Steele. I'm a computer programmer. I'm a computer scientist. I'm a gadget geek and I'm interested in all things tech. So I run Digital Skills Education. So we are a technology education company. And I started it because I really love helping people learn new digital skills. But I want to tell you specifically about what we're doing around the areas of cybersecurity and cyber resilience. But we specialise in all sorts of digital skills. And we think the best way to bridge the digital skills gap is by making learning them an engaging, a fun, and a social experience. So we create educational resources, we design workshops, we build video games, and we host online lessons. And we're all about helping people learn these skills, but through interactive learning experiences. So the three areas that I wanted to speak about today, these are three of the audiences we work a lot with when we're working in Scotland. So young people in the workplace and for older people. So our work is supported in these areas through a mixture of different funding. So sometimes it might be government grants. So sometimes we get money from the Scottish government or from the UK government. And sometimes we might be booked directly by a community group or a workplace or a charity, someone who's paying us to run a course for their group or their team. So I suppose the first thing that I was going to mention, and this is something that I'm sure will come up a few times today, is in Scotland, one of the phrases we're using a lot is the idea of cyber resilience, not just about security and safety, but about being resilient, knowing that, well, what happens if you encounter a scam or something happens to your computer as well? It's important to know not just how to protect yourself, but how can you recover from that too. So I thought it was worth showing some of the work that we've made for young people that you could take part in. So we wanted more young people to think about careers and have a better knowledge about cybersecurity skills. So we created some interactive games and resources that young people can use to learn more about this area, because it's something that a lot of young people had shown an interest in, but a lot of schools and youth leaders weren't sure how to introduce topics about cybersecurity. So our most popular game is How to Rob a Bank. Now, before anyone alerts Five Eyes on me, I should probably explain ourselves. So in this game, learners become ethical hackers and break into a fictional bank. So we have created a fictional banking website, Strathclyde Bank. And when they play the game, we walk them through step by step how to hack into that bank. And it is based on the real life job of an ethical hacker. And although it's a fictional bank, everything that they're doing is based on the real security flaws that have been discovered in systems. And when we're playing, we actually have a live totalizer on the screen so we can see how much money has been stolen. So we designed these lessons so that no previous technical knowledge or computer programming skills are needed. The instructions are all built into the activities. And feedback from teachers and youth workers is they like the fact this allowed them to introduce this topic without them having to prepare or test anything in advance. So to play these activities, it's all done through your web browser. So as long as you can connect to the internet. The activity is designed to be played alongside a live stream. So they're all watching us on a YouTube live video. So just like you'd see gamers do on YouTube or Twitch. And the learners in their class are all playing along at the same time from their classroom. So this is what we call our live lessons. So our most recent live lesson was actually about maths and numeracy, wasn't cybersecurity, but we had 9,000 young people from Scotland and further afield taking part. And because it's live, it means that we can give them shout outs if they're doing well, and we can offer them hints and tips or we can spotlight the work that they're doing on the live stream. So we made it as easy as possible for participants to get involved by removing any of the barriers that we could. So they didn't have to sort of download specialist software. They didn't have to even sign up for an account. This would work on anyone who's got a web browser and a laptop or a computer that they can connect to. So it isn't just one game, how to rob a bank. This led us to create a whole series called Cyber Skills Live. And we've now got a whole bunch of educational games showing different opportunities. So it includes things like ethical hacking, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. The real goal was to bring alive these digital skills as part of hands-on lessons. So yeah, some of the really popular ones, if you go into our website later, you could check out, I'd suggest How to Steal a Pizza, which is about penetration testing. I would also suggest Defend Stirling Castle, where you get to see the parallels between medieval security and modern cyber security as well. And if you're into arts as well, I would suggest Code a Data Selfie with JavaScript, which is all about how could you create your own self-portrait, but using your personal data as the medium that you're going to work in. So we all know that our personal data can create a picture about us, but what if we were to actually use code and build a picture of ourselves? So that's definitely worth playing, that one. So we've been delighted at the response, the number of learners who've taken part. Sometimes it's in schools, colleges, and universities. So we offer all these, our Cyber Skills Live program, all the games are free, and we don't actually get any funding to keep running these or doing it, but it's so fun and we know that thousands of people have used it, so we keep it up there. And although most players are from near Scotland, we have groups taking part from all around the world as well. So North America, yes, people joining from Canada, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand are all hotspots if you're working with young people. And do you know what? Just any adult who wants to sort of experiment with this and maybe learn about careers in that area. It's written for 12 to 15-year-olds, but as you know, anything that you write well can be used by lots of different age ranges as well. So our second audience is about cyber resilience in the workplace. We get funding from the Scottish Government to do this particular project, and it was about how can we help workplaces and workers be more cyber resilient. And our approach was to work with trade union reps to offer cyber resilience training for workers across Scotland. So this was a different approach that we were trying, rather than going to employers directly, working with trade union partners to approach offering free workshops that way. So these are not interactive games. These were normally face-to-face over things like Zoom or Teams. And our most popular courses for adult learners are these. So by far the most popular one is how to keep your social media safe, secure, and unhackable. Because we know that cyber criminals are targeting Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok users. They try to take over our accounts, they try to steal our money or trick our friends, but you can stop them. So we speak about how you can adjust your social media settings to make it more difficult for a cyber criminal to take over someone's account, and how to tell who you can trust on social media. I'm sure over the past year, your experiences of being able to understand who is real, who is not real, why are people sharing certain things on social media is more challenging than ever. And we also talk about how to spot and avoid online scams. So talking about learning about social engineering, which is the way that cyber criminals try to trick people and steal their information. And our last one, take control of your personal data on your phone. It was a different approach again, where we recognised that there was a trend for people who were interested in well-being workshops and lessons. And we thought, we were already targeting people who were obviously aware of things like security. How can we reach a different audience? So we took a different approach and we created a set of workshops that we call our digital wellbeing workshops. And it's all about how people can get a better relationship with their technology. Like maybe they're aware they use it a lot, or feel as if they're always on their phone, or they're worried about how much of their personal data they're sharing with companies. So we've made this workshop, which allows people to take back control of their digital privacy, so they can see how they can adjust their settings, how they can make sure that they're using secure messaging apps. And the idea is that when you do these things, you're actually practicing better cybersecurity practices as well. You're cutting down on the amount of personal data you share. You're being more mindful about what apps you choose to use. So we have resource pages that are suitable for all these topics. Our most popular courses for 2025 so far have been another wellbeing one called Reset Your Relationship with Your Phone. And we're seeing a lot more interest in artificial intelligence as well. So we're offering courses that are practical introductions to AI for people in work. Earlier this year, we also ran, well, at the end of last year, actually, we ran a course called How to Rig an Election with AI, which we ran on the eve of the American elections. So we had quite a interesting international audience for that. And it was all about how our tools like AI, how could they be used to manipulate public opinion, to change the way they make you feel about things, both on a grand scale in terms of how might that affect things like elections, and does it? So we look at the research, but also from your own point of view, how can you analyze a post and sort of say to yourself, is this real? Can I trust this as well? So that was a popular one. So what we found is by doing this in workplaces with trade union reps, this was a really good way to cascade learning as well. We found that most people told us that they had shared what they learned with their co-workers, which was important. And what we found is, I don't know if any of you are members of trade unions or you've been involved in one, but we found that trade union members are more likely to share what they've learned compared to people who are not in a trade union. And they're also more likely to apply what they've learned as part of their job as well. So they realise that it helps them personally, but it can also help their employer as well. And that was really important because when employers were giving us, staff time off, and this was everybody from like prison officers, retail workers, council workers, teachers, nurses, to get them to release their time was really useful. And then we think that there has been some impact on how it has then affected their own workplace's cybersecurity as well, which, considering it's just a 2-hour short course, is quite interesting, that if you can make an intervention and you can make some small suggestions, you can actually make quite a big difference. So another resource that you might find useful is we've also made a series of videos on YouTube, which are open for anyone to use, that answer the things that basically, what are the things that my mum, my dad, my aunties, my uncles message me and say, can you show me how to do that on my phone? So we made a series of videos that are like 1 minute long called How to Do That, how to do some of the most common things on your phone. And we found that this was a really nice thing to be able to send to people through what, and not just through emails as well. So these videos have had over 100,000 plays on YouTube now. So we're not quite YouTube influencers yet, but it's nice being able to, again, as someone who's worked in teaching and educating as well, it's so good. See, when you make something once and you think this is really useful, how many times have you been like, oh, I'm never going to be able to use that again when I was only using that for a one-off? But actually being able to see it being used by other people just encourages us to make more. So in terms of what else you could get access to in the future, I'll share my email address at the end. And if you want to be on our mailing list so that you get more of these resources when we make them, I'm happy to share them with you as well. So we're making an interactive video series now. The idea is that it can be shared by email, by WhatsApp, or in a newsletter, or even embedded in someone's own website. So again, this might be something that's useful for you. So what we're going to be doing is asking our people who've been on our courses, what is it they would like to learn next? So our website, digitalskillseducation.com. Last bit, cyber resilience for older people. So yeah, interestingly, what we've done is, I've been talking about digital resources this whole time, but more recently what we've found is there's been a big need for people who want printed and physical resources. So our team have made this, which is Dot Magazine. So it's a brand new magazine that is designed to help people be smart, safe, and connected. And inside the magazine, We share a lot about staying safe online and discussing ways that people can improve their digital well-being. So I have a section in it where I help people spot scams. My colleague Daniel has a sort of agony aunt section where he answers people's questions. And basically, we wanted to create a physical magazine that was accessible for everyone. But this one is particularly focused on women aged 60 and above. And we've borrowed from the style of magazines that are kind of lifestyle home magazines that are popular. So I can think of some UK based ones. I'm not sure of ones that might be available in Canada, but if you think of things like Vogue or fashion magazines as well, taking some of those. Can't believe we just compared ourselves to Vogue there for a minute, but that was the closest I could come up with. So we've made 20,000 copies of these magazines, and they're being distributed across Scotland. And we've just had a partnership now with the National Cyber Security Centre in the UK, and another 10,000 are going out to our friends in England and Wales and Northern Ireland as well. So this has been really nice because so many people came to our workshops and wanted something physical that they could take home as well. The actual magazine as well, we've made different versions for depending on where it is, so we can localize it. So we have made a version that is more suitable for people in England. If you want to email me, you can scan the QR code as well.